This is a response to the many videos that I have seen on YouTube lately about dark complexioned women and the varying opinions about the beauty of dark skinned women and girls. My name is Yane Indigo. I'm 39 years old. I'm from Philadelphia, in Pennsylvania. I am about 5'8" or 5'9". My weight usually fluctuates between 116 and 120 pounds. Growing up, I was therefore always very skinny, and that is something that was not popular at all within the black community, where thick women are desired. As you see, I have full lips. And I used to be teased, and people would tell me things like that chapstick needed to make a spray bottle in order to get my lips covered. And if I borrowed someone's chapstick and I was applying chapstick, people would be like, "Damn, girl, you gonna leave any for me?" When I was about 19, I cut my perm out and discovered that I have nappy hair. And I have had to learn to embrace all of these things about myself at 17, 15, 19, 23, 25, 26, 28. I didn't really feel very pretty. I didn't feel pretty at all. And in fact, I remember once looking in the mirror at myself and bursting out crying and wanting to just smash the mirror in because of how unhappy I was with my own appearance. And so I do know what the struggle can be like to learn to appreciate your own personal beauty. I right now feel quite pretty, and there were a series of things that happened that helped me to appreciate that way. I like my size. I like my lips and my mouth. I like my hair. And I like my complexion. And that's something I also had to learn to do. I consider myself brown skin. I think that's pretty universal. And, as far as that, my complexion would be considered brown skin, I think. Although I do get a little confused when I watch the videos. I see that there are women who are about my complexion who are calling themselves light skin. And I definitely don't see myself as light skin. And similarly, I have seen women who are my complexion who have called themselves dark skin, and I don't see where I fall into either one of those categories, which is why I call myself brown skin. But when I say I've had to learn to like my complexion, and this is really the reason why I was inspired to make this video, it was because I always wanted to be darker. And actually, at a certain point, I thought I was darker than I am. Right now, this is about my darkest complexion. It's the end of July, and I might get a little bit darker over the summer, but this is pretty much me at around my darkest. As we go through the winter months and it gets to be about March, and my complexion lightens, that's me at about my palest. I remember one day sitting with my sister and my mother, and we were having a conversation, and I flippantly mentioned the fact that, or what I thought was the fact, that I was the darkest of the three of us. And they were looking at me like, "Is she serious?" Looking at each other, looking at me, do you really believe that? So they took me in front of the mirror, and there were three of us are standing, and I'm not the darkest, nor am I even the middle, but I was quite lighter than both of them. And I just didn't even see that. I just perceived this darker complexion girl, and was quite disappointed, actually. And it probably was in March when I'm my palest, but I've had to learn to recognize that I am not a dark complexioned girl, and that my brown skin is pretty. So I wanted to share that because I want the dark skinned sisters to know that I recognize and understand completely why, because I know all of the teasing and things that go into being around dark-skinned children, and I've seen how there have been preferences given to lighter girls, and I've been around in situations where there were two sisters, one was lighter and she got more attention, and all of those things. I completely understand it, and it's terribly unfortunate. It's terrible because and this is my point, dark skin is so freaking gorgeous. It's just so beautiful. I mean, I think healthy complexions of all shades are pretty, but the darker, the prettier to me. I have this picture here, and this picture is the complexion that I would have chosen for myself. And so, and I just can't even understand how anyone could not see just how absolutely gorgeous she and her skin are. But I know that it is not a beauty that is universally accepted and embraced. And so my reason for coming on here is to say I understand, but I want you to know that that your beauty is appreciated, dark-skinned sisters. Just as you may have wanted your daughters to be lighter and not be as dark as you, in some instances, as described in videos, I wanted my daughter to be dark. And when she was in my belly, that's what I imagined, that she would come out and be this chocolate little girl. And she's darker than me, not quite as chocolate as I wanted, but she's darker than me. And even though she may not be as dark as I had imagined in my daydreams, she's quite beautiful. And I think that that's the trick as we grow, that we need to affirm each other, we need to appreciate each other, but we also need to just one day just stop and really learn to see our own individual beauty. And I want to just add my little piece to let you know that I see it. I love your dark-skinned beauty, and I hope that you and I will be able to appreciate that together. Fuck all those people who said anything else. You are beautiful.